Hey everybody, TG here, and today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about how to trade your Roth or your IRA, basically something other than a brokerage account. And the reason we have to talk about this is because you have to think a little bit further ahead. You have to plan your trades a little bit better, because the number one restriction for a Roth account is that you can't just buy and sell instantly. With a brokerage account, you can go on margin, which means you can buy something, you can sell it, you can buy it again, no problem, because you're basically borrowing money. But with a Roth IRA account, what you have to do is you actually have to have your funds settled. So if you buy something and then you sell it sometime in the future, those funds that you sell have to then settle for 2 days, which means that that portion of money is tied up. So if your entire account is invested and you go to sell it because you want to go buy something else, you can't do it for a couple days until those funds get settled. One way to maybe work around this is to make sure you don't put your entire account into the market at any given time. Or if you do, make sure that it's staggered a little bit. So if you bought something, maybe buy a third this day, a third this day, and then a third this day, because then by the time that last piece is in, this other piece, if you sell it, when you sell it, can then be available 2 days later. So just make sure you kind of think about that rotation. When it comes to a brokerage account, you don't have any restrictions like that, especially if you're on margin. You don't have to worry about any settlement issues. The other thing is, because you are not on margin and because it's a retirement account, you can't go short things. You can't short Facebook. You can't short the market straight out. They have some restrictions about that because, well, they want to make sure that you don't either lose all the money or actually, get into different funds that way and lose it, because there's a lot of risk by going short. One way you can get around that is you can actually purchase an inverse ETF. So if you wanted to short the market, you can buy the SPXS or the XPX, something like that. Either it's leveraged or one-to-one. Just go look around out there and find some other options that if you want to be able to trade the short side. Now, you can't short individual stocks for that reason. Maybe what you can do is you can find an inverse ETF that represents a basket of stocks that you would like to short. That's a possibility. Just search them on the internet. You can find options out there. The other thing is you can trade options, but those two are restricted and limited. They want them to be a little bit safer, meaning maybe you can only do spreads as opposed to straight puts. It depends. Go look out there, make sure you read the rules and regulations. Perhaps it matters on your broker and what they are willing to let you do. So just make sure that you are up to speed on all the various rules and regulations and restrictions on this. But those are the simplest terms that I can explain right now about the differences of a Roth IRA versus a brokerage account. Just make sure you plan ahead a little bit. And so it is possible to double your Roth account. I have done it in the past. I'm working on it right now. You can choose to purchase some of the slow and steady names with dividends, or you can go down, you can even purchase some dollar stocks and whatever you want to do. So there are no restrictions on that as to what you purchase. You can purchase precious metals, silver, you name it, bonds, whatever. Just remember there are some other restrictions about timeliness and whatnot. And with that, I hope you found it useful and valuable. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you at the next video.